Developing solid drawing skills can seem almost impossible, and people often lose patience very fast and they give up before realizing that it actually doesn't take hundreds of hours of practice and that a few simple tricks can speed up the process a lot. So if you've always wanted to draw or you feel stuck at the same level, this video will help you. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to unpack how I really improved my drawing skills over the past year or so, how I did that, what really helped and what didn't. So grab your pencils and let's get going. Don't worry, this video is not going to be all about boring grids, but it would be foolish to leave out one of the most effective and popular drawing methods, and that is the Loomis method, which helps us break down the anatomy of the whole head area into simple and understandable shapes and proportions. We start by drawing a simple circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. This represents the cranium, not the whole head. We slice off the sides with two oval shapes. This is where the ears attach to the head, turning the circle into a more believable skull shape. We draw a vertical centre line, a horizontal line across the middle. That horizontal line represents the brow line and it divides the head roughly into half. That's important because we'll see that the eyes sit halfway between the top of the skull and the bottom of the chin. Close to the bottom of the circle, a horizontal mark is where the base of the nose will sit. And then we have to brave it out and attach a jaw to the main circle. You can see all my hesitation here, but I was on camera. You just go for it and use an eraser to adjust. I most certainly did. Loomis divides the face into three equal parts, from the hairline to the brow ridge, from the brow ridge to the bottom of the nose, and from the bottom of the nose to the chin. Those thirds help us avoid distortion and floating asymmetric features. They also help us build structural clarity so we can work with a little more confidence. And it pushes us to work from imagination too, not only from reference photos. It is also really useful to add another parallel line below the brow ridge line. That will give you a really clear space to add the eyes. You can also add goggle shapes for more precision, like I do, and place the eyes within them. A triangular shape sitting on the vertical line will turn into your nose, and below that the mouth, with its corners sitting perpendicular to the centre of the eyes. So the mouth is going to be as wide as the area where the pupil sits, just right underneath it. And now let's put into practice with a frontal and side view portrait. More often than not, I use the Loomis method partially. If a pose is particularly challenging or complicated, I may use the whole grid. But it's useful to get an idea of where everything sits in the face because you can so easily get it wrong, as your mind will trick you into believing you know already. Very often we tend to think the eyes, for example, sit too high up in the head structure than they actually do. And this helps us correct and see that misinformation. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And this is where this method really helps you improve your drawing skills fast, because you're correcting one important thing forever, not just once. I find it really useful to use shadow areas to understand how far apart the features are, and this of course is when I'm using a reference photo. Shadow areas can really work as a map for you, So start noticing them. Think of them as pieces of a jigsaw. Simplifying is what it all comes down to, and once you've done that, you can build upon it. And yes, though it's not hundreds of hours of practice to get better at drawing, practice is important. I'm not saying you should draw every day for an hour. I'm saying don't let your skills get rusty. A lot of this is what we do on our online patron group when we draw together every Tuesday. We don't aim for perfection, we aim to get that practice in while we're having fun and exploring new themes. It's like an art club, and you can hop into a session even mid-month because everyone works at their own pace. Which brings me to timed sketches. Sketching on a short time limit helps a lot, I think as much as the Loomis method. And it's one of my preferred ways to draw. It helps me get in the main shapes fast without focusing or fussing about too much over the details. And don't let it intimidate you, because everyone goes back to these rough sketches later to work on them more. Again, it's all about the foundation and the habit. In profile, the Loomis method changes slightly, but again, it's really helpful to get the foundation in. We draw a circle, again, and within that circle, we draw a smaller one, and that's the flatter side of the skull. Within the smaller circle, we draw a horizontal line and a vertical line. The vertical line will drop down to guide us into the back of the jaw in side view. The horizontal line will be our brow ridge line. The nose, again use that triangular shape, will sit halfway between the brow and the chin, and the mouth about 1/3 below the nose, and the ear will sit nicely into that smaller circle in the lower right quarter. If this sounds confusing, you've got to pick up a pencil and try it yourself, because it's putting the action in that really makes it stick and will make it make sense. And another tip. The eye will also look like a little triangle sitting on its side, or a funnel if you like, with the open end towards the top of the nose, and it usually sits quite further back in the head in profile than we'd expect. So that's another of those things that you can't unsee once you've seen it. And now let's have some fun while I show you how I incorporate a partial Loomis method and other tricks I like to use when drawing for fun. Because let's face it, having fun is the main focus here. You can use what we have learned up till now in animal drawings too. Together with our members over on Patreon, we have found that breaking everything down into geometric shapes is one of the most helpful things, and this applies especially when you're drawing animals. Recognizable shapes like rectangles, triangles and spheres. Your brain will make more sense of these than trying to grasp and convey the complete image. Here we're drawing a dog, but just think of a horse's elongated features. Thinking of it as long rectangles and spheres and hexagons will make the drawing more approachable. And a brief addition here, but I have to say it, To me, using color erase pencils, and these ones are by Prismacolor, has been a game changer. They are colored pencils that you can erase as easily as a regular pencil. The lightness of the colour is what does it. You build up the intensity of the sketch with thin layers of browns and greens and purples and yellows. It's like working with an almost transparent pencil, and the result seems to glow. I find it very forgiving, and I would not go back to regular pencils. I bought these myself, by the way, and I am glad I did because they are fantastic. I find the sheen of regular pencils can detract from the beauty of a sketch, and starting so light, especially for someone like me who has a very heavy pencil mark, just breaks the ice. So yes, these pencils might help you too. Another thing is adjust. Adjust as you go along. So use paper that won't fall apart if you have a good go at it with an eraser. Paper that is thicker than copy paper. There are plenty of decent quality cheap sketchbooks out there that won't break the bank like Art Creations. Also, stray away from Pinterest or Instagram now and then and draw someone you know. It doesn't have to be someone in your family or a friend, because that might make you feel a bit under pressure. Draw someone from your favourite Netflix series or whatever show you enjoy. The reason is simple. When you draw someone whose face you also know in movement, that familiarity and that extra knowledge will give you more confidence. I'm not suggesting you draw from the movie in action, but from a still reference of an actor or actress that you know well, also in movement. And don't worry if there's not much similarity there in the beginning. That's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for building our trust in our skills and enjoying the process. So what doesn't work is considering something as a whole, looking at its entirety. What works is breaking it down into simpler, recognizable steps. For example, I have started using a horizontal oval shape to build my portrait's chin around, and it really works for me rather than trying to wing it. And of course, adjust as you go along. Adjusting is learning. It's beginning to see patterns and looking at things with fresh eyes. Forget your old eyes, you need new eyes. And of course, I'm not talking of eyesight here. I am talking of looking at things almost as if you'd never seen them before, even if you've seen them a million times. This will give you so much inspiration as well, because everything will feel like a novelty and you will want to explore it. And draw simpler subjects like fruits and basic still lives, because there's a lesson to be learned from every single drawing, and it's a lesson we can carry into our next drawing, and that's where the joy is. So I hope this has been helpful. I do feel like I've told you all I have learned and all that I find useful, and I hope it will help you to maintain a consistent drawing practice. Because if you've watched this video up till now, then I think it must be something you love. And it would be a waste if you weren't doing it. I will see you all next Sunday. Bye for now.